What is going on, everybody? We're back with another CCW review. I am Nick.
I am Joe.
And this is the second time we're recording this episode for this mediocre-ass Dynamite. So if I'm a little testy, I'm sorry. We're going to be kind of just running through some shit. We were 40 minutes in, and before I realized that I'd fucked up. Anyways, this is for Dynamite on May 6th. 3 hours. Let's go. There was a tribute from Tony and Sting. It was okay. Shivani, not Khan.
Yeah. Celebrating Ted Turner.
Celebrating Ted Turner's passing away, which, you know, if it wasn't for Ted, wrestling would definitely not be where it's at today. He was the one that actually, you know, he pushed wrestling to be live, which sparked the Monday Night Wars, which made wrestling better and watchable. They do a 10-bell salute, and then we get our first match, which is the AEW Continental Championship match, Eliminator match. It wasn't even a championship match. It was Jon Moxley versus Juice Robinson. These two have almost zero chemistry together.
And the funny thing is, that's what they boasted. Is they've been in several matches against each other. They've known each other for so long, and they have zero fucking chemistry. And it was very slow and plotting and meh.
Mox got a cut under his eye at some point, and he ends up winning with a bulldog choke. We get a backstage segment. Ospreay's training with the Death Riders. Garcia says a bunch of dumb shit. Mox then asks if Ospreay has heard of Death Ground. You don't know what Death Ground is. Neither do I. None of us care. And he says that Ospreay needs to get his neck and head right as they set up for the next set of whatever the fuck it is. Apparently his exercises include neck pressing Yuta's small ass.
Yeah, Yuta's doing elevated crunches or something over Ospreay's neck.
So weird.
It was weird.
Double Jeopardy match. Dax versus Orange Cassidy. Fantastic match. Bunch of people came out with both sides because, you know, whatever. Dax does his own pocket spot, which was really fun. He outbundied his hands into his tights and started doing the light kicks. But
Stokely was dressed like OC.
In the first big surprise of the night, OC wins with a roll-up, which means the conglomeration get the tag title match. So we'll see which two members of the conglomeration it is. I'm telling you, it's going to be like OC and Ishii.
I hate that. I want it to be Kyle and Roddy. Kyle and Roddy and FTR. That sounds like a good time.
Everyone ends up hitting their moves on RPG Vice in the ring. One of them even caught a dick kick from Christian, which was pretty fun. He ran.
I think it was Trent Beretta.
Yeah, he ran to like he was going to do the spear and then stopped and kicked him in the dick. Good times.
Christian being Christian.
Absolutely. Backstage, Renee sounding betters with Jericho. Jericho says he's pretty furious. He said, but unlike the Demand, he doesn't want to fight backstage, so he's going to take it out to the arena for all the people. He goes out to all the people, and he tells Ricochet to get his ass out there for a one-on-one meeting, at which point him and the rest of the Demand come out because Ricochet's not going to come out on his own. Ricochet says that he doesn't want Jericho there. Jericho's like, hey, or he says, I actually think you have a humiliation. Not Jericho doesn't. This is still Ricochet. He thinks Jericho still has a humiliation kink. He then says that he wants to face Jericho in his very own match and basically wants a stadium stampede, and he doesn't think Jericho can find 4 other people to team with him. Jericho calls him a dumb son of a bitch because during all of that he said the wrong state when making fun of the crowd. Jericho says that he will find 4 partners, and Ricochet is on. He says if he can't find 4 partners, he's going to fight all of them alone. He then proceeds to fight them. He hits an actually really great Judas effect on Ricochet, but then proceeded to get the numbers game caught up with him. The Hurt Syndicate came out for the save. We'd mentioned last time for this. I don't want this match. There's no point in this match. It is
just an excuse to have 10 other motherfuckers on a show.
Yeah. There's only 2 people that are actually feuding here, and to get everyone else dragged around in, especially people that don't want to do the type of bumps that are required in hardcore matches. Bobby. Yeah. Backstage, Harley doesn't know how to feel. Shirakawa says that Harley was one of the first women to be a tag champ, and she needs to stop looking out there and look inside. And then in the process, rips Harley's shirt off, thinking that she had her gear on underneath. Turns out she does not. It's all bra. Thank goodness she remembered to wear one for this segment.
Right.
Or it's sad for me. I don't know. Depends on who you are. She did have a bra on, though, and she said that Shirakawa was right. And at that point, Renee's like, yeah, you should probably go put on gear. And she did.
Yeah. Renee's momming her. Go put some clothes on, young lady.
Match 3, AEW International Championship match, Kazuchika Okada versus Brian Keith. I was unaware this match was happening. I'm also curious on who wanted to actually watch Brian Keith wrestle.
Should have been nobody. They 50-50'd Brian Keith with Okada, which is so stupid. Okada wins in the end with the Rainmaker, like he always does. But like Brian Keith got so much offense in. It was. I don't know why they needed this to be 50-50 booked.
Me neither. Okada announces he wants to go for the world title for reasons, and yeah. Backstage, Speedball says that Knight is going to become Jet 2 belts. Kevin then says that tonight Darby's body is going to give out on him, and he's going to become the new world champ. Backstage, Joe says he's afraid his offer to Ospreay isn't being heard. He said men like John Moxley tell you how to think, and he doesn't do that. He knows Ospreay is destined for greatness, but how much of him will be left to be champ? He said with men like the Ops behind him, he could be champ for a very long time. Hook is out because he's got Joe got him a movie opportunity. He then says that he's going to put his other guys in good places too. He says that the intentions are clear. I will put my hand out for the last time. If it isn't accepted, I will put out my fist. I feel like
Kick their ass, Joe.
I feel like we're gonna get an Ops versus Death Riders, and Ospreay's gonna slip out the back, and they're gonna forget he was even a part of all that.
We can only hope.
Match 4, Harley Cameron and Mina Shirakawa versus Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. This match ended up being way better than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting Shirakawa to fuck this all up. And Shida hasn't been much better for me lately. There was some friendly fire between Shida to Stat late in the match. Stat ended up still coming in and stopping Harley from getting the win. Shida hits a Falcon Arrow on Harley and gets the win herself.
Yep.
Backstage segment. Swerve is on a power trip still, even though he failed the first time to get power. But now apparently he thinks getting power starts with beating Bandito. All right.
What a weird place to start.
Like we said the first time we recorded this, I'm excited for the match. I didn't need this segment at all.
At all.
Backstage, Bandito says, Swerve, if you wanted to find me, all you had to do was ask. And then Brody King steps in and has to speak, and he's like, it's one thing to mess with me, but if you mess with my friends, there will be hell to pay. And I'm like, please bring back Malachi. I don't.
Somebody to talk for this very, very good wrestler with a good look, but just cannot speak on a microphone at all.
I'm kidding as well, guys. I really don't want Malachi back in AEW, but
yeah, there could be a different mouthpiece than Malachi.
Give him Dalton Castle. Let's see how that goes.
That's an interesting pairing.
It was supposed to be. My match of the night, AEW World Championship match, Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight. Darby hits a dive onto Kevin. Kevin hit his head on the commentator desk. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it did too much to him, though. Kevin hits a Hurricane Rana to Darby off the top of the turnbuckle to the outside of the ring. Kevin then set Darby up on the announce table. He did a springboard from inside the ring, and they slid off the back of the table, at which point Knight starts selling a leg injury. Darby immediately puts Knight in the Scorpion Deathlock in the ring, but Knight gets to the ropes pretty quickly. Darby goes for the coffin drop. Kevin gets his knees up. But since his leg is hurt, it took him out for a little bit. He hits the coast to coast on Darby, and then hits the UFO splash right after. but he can't get an immediate cover because of his knee. When he does, Darby kicks out. Darby puts him in a front guillotine in a really cool way where he kicked his knee out from underneath him, and he fell into it. It was really well done.
Yep.
But Knight stumbled and bumbled to the ropes until he could get clear after having a moment where he had to Hulk himself out of it. Darby hits 2 coffin drops. One of them was really cool. It was done off a drape off the ropes. And then he got the win. Really good psychology in this match. They did the whole thing where they started off with like tests of strength and stuff like that, which was really cool. You don't really see too much of that from Darby or Knight for that matter. I just really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, it was treated like a professional wrestling match. It was serious. It was good. Very good match from these two.
Post match, MJF wants a rematch. Darby says, not unless you put something on the line. Max is like, I'll put my scarf on the line. I left. Darby says no. He then says he'll put the diamond ring on the line, which is what I thought was going to be from the very beginning. Darby says no. Max says, I'll give you $1 million. And Darby's like, your money is no good. So finally Max is like, well, what do you want? And Darby's like, well, I want you to put something on the line that you care most about. Something that you cared so much about that you took 14 hours to fly to Turkey, or however many hours it was, to get it fixed.
That's about right.
Darby says it has to be MJF's hair. And MJF was speechless, which never happens. So that was cool. And MJF just walks off. Basically, Darby was like, next week we'll have the contract signing, and you'll either come out and sign it, or you'll never get an opportunity again. This is where Okada comes out, and Okada wants a title shot. Darby snatches the mic from him and says, it's on, bitch. So next week we're going to get that so that, we can continue to wear Darby down so he can lose his championship.
Right, but he can still look really strong.
Yep. Match 5, AR Fox versus Speedball. This is the match that no one asked for.
Literally no one asked for it.
Speedball got his knee move for the win.
Yeah. AR Fox took a wicked bump, but he looked like he was all right.
It wasn't a terrible match. I'm not a big AR Fox. I'm not a big AR Fox detractor by any means. He shows up once every 5 to 6 months to lose, and
yeah, how can you care about somebody when that's all they do? He's there to make people look better. Speedball won. Speedball should have won. It was a match that took place that was not bad.
Well, backstage earlier tonight, Willow says, today of all days, it's an honor to still hold the TBS championship. She says whoever is up next, step up, because she's defending her legacy every week. Just not this week. Backstage, Pac tells Darby to not forget about him. He says they are 2-1 in their favor because in some sort of weird, fucked up way, I guess he's been taking Steiner math class. He feels that being up 2-1 on Darby means he automatically gets a title shot, which is like the dumbest reason anyone could ever have to get a title shot. Like I'd have rather just him did the fucking Okada thing and asked for it, and Darby been like, okay. So that's the thing. Match 6.
Everybody gets a title match.
Jamie Hayter put on a match versus Sky Blue. And she wins with her dumbass top rope Haterade that doesn't look like it even fucking hurt. And then kissed her arm 20-ish times.
It was a match that happened. It was not great by any means. It wasn't terrible either, but just not great.
Tekla and Julia are in the crowd taunting her, and then Hayter hit another clothesline on Sky. And instead of helping their friend and having a numbers advantage, because there is literally nobody in the building that can even help Hayter.
Yeah, there was no Windsor.
Windsor was out. Persephone's still out. So, like,
yep.
Don't know what the fuck that, like, I don't know why she didn't just go and whoop their ass.
All right, 3-on-1 advantage. Just get it done.
Backstage earlier tonight, I guess. Do we actually flew through it this time? We're only 14 minutes in. Mark Davis Don Callis is backstage with a lot of the family. He says, yeah, Mark Davis this Saturday at the stupid golf show. Mark Davis is going to beat Jack for the national title. He then said that Okada is in line to get a world title shot. And then he goes, he was handpicked to be the next person to go for the world title. At which point, Andrade goes, "How you know?"
You know.
And then Okada told Talk that he's starting to sound very Kenny Omega-like. He's starting to sound like Kenny Omega, the way that he thinks he's just owed all this shit. I was like, there's planting the seeds. Talk's going to whoop his ass. Maybe.
I hope so. So this can be over.
Match 7. Roosh versus a guy by the name of Manny Lowe.
Here's your collision squash match of the night.
Roosh, honestly, I don't think I saw most of the match. I looked over, and he ran and did the double kick, and Shivani. My favorite moment between the commentators tonight. Shivani goes, he got his head kicked in, and Taz goes, "How you know?" And I lost my shit because I couldn't tell if Taz forgot which Hispanic-based dude said that, or if he was still just basing it off of
the promo before.
The promo before. I'm pretty sure it was based off the promo before, but
I am too.
It just made me laugh. I was like, "That's fantastic! Thank you."
Taz is awesome. Taz adds so much personality to that commentary team. It's not even funny.
Roosh ends up winning, and post-match, he does the horn thing. So then we get...
he does the horn thing.
Then we get a vignette for Jack Perry. He says it doesn't matter. I was always told it's not how the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog, or some shit like that. And then he's like climbing this rock that you easily could just kind of walk up the other side of.
Yeah, it was a large hill he walked up.
And so he gets up there because, he's a jungle boy. So he's got to do jungle things. Jungle boys do jungle things. And then he then says, I am the top of the mountain. If you don't like that, fuck you. I guess telling people fuck you is his new whole thing.
It's what makes him edgy. It's his new little catchphrase.
And then we get our almost match of the night because I didn't think it was as good as the world title match. But
no, not even close.
10-man tag to close out the night. Death Riders and the Dogs versus Bang Bang Gang and the Young Bucks. We got Joe's favorite tag suplex spot where 4 people suplex 4 other people, but they're all together doing it all together in the same pile.
Yeah, it's real fucking dumb.
We all know how much Joe loves those.
It's always the babyface who wins those.
It is. Connor's hit a pounce on Colton Gunn, and it's the first time he's done it that I've been like, bruh.
Yeah, even Excalibur couldn't save it. Excalibur just was like, yeah, it was a shoulder tackle.
It looked pretty bad.
It wasn't even a pounce. It was just a shoulder tackle.
I was like, well, you finally did it. You pounced somebody bigger than you. He's like twice your fucking size and mass.
Why does a 5'9" guy have a fucking pounce as a fucking move anyways?
Probably because he heard you bitching about him doing the spear. You notice he ain't done that in a while. Even though
I would rather he do the spear. I'm used to the little dudes doing that. Jey Uso does it all the time.
At least his spear looked like it actually hurt, whereas I don't know. Anyways,
didn't look like a ring hug.
His spear looked like the one I hit on my stepsister in the basement that one time when we were all down there.
Oh yeah, I remember.
For those of you that want a fun little wrestling story, so everybody had gathered back in my room. It was a bunch of our friends and then Colette, my sister at the time. She wasn't technically, well, they weren't married yet, so yeah, she wasn't technically my sister. But I don't know what came over me, and I don't even think she was initially my target when I started doing this. I was just like, whoever's standing in front of the bed's getting speared. and I started the run at the base of my stairs, and the way my basement is the basement stairs led. If you turned right at the basement steps, there was this big middle room that we used to like backyard wrestle in.
Yep.
Backyard wrestle.
It's like the furnace room. It's a big open furnace room.
And then it curved around one more time back to basically my bedroom was like behind the stairs in one long way. And yeah, so I took off running at the stairs and ran through the middle room and then came into no hesitation, no warning, nothing. I just run in.
Standing there, and then was flying.
Oh, she was so mad. It was fantastic though. So anyways, my favorite part of the match though, Ace Austin got the win with his finishing move that you never get to actually see him do.
No, he did it like twice on Collision when he was getting built up, and then he disappeared.
Right. So I was happy to see him get the win.
I was too. I like Ace Austin. I mean, he's not following me on Twitter or anything.
He's not following me on Twitter either. He just commented once.
Liking my posts.
And that's it. Listen, we somehow cut that in half. We were at 45 minutes and had just made it to the Roosh section.
We complained a lot about the Jericho
we
Stadium Stampede match the first go around.
Oh, we complained a lot about a few things. There was some complaining. This time we just sounded uninterested because you know what? Listen,
that's more or less what this show was. It was very uninteresting.
They hyped this 3-hour Dynamite, and it ended up being a lot to do about nothing.
Yep, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Anyways, that's that. So later this week, because this is Wednesday. So tomorrow night we've got to record our pick'ems. Backlash. I'm gonna find that video just so we can play that in the background so people can hear it.
Backlash. Put it on loop. Backlash.
And then after that,
sadly, that's the match I'm most looking forward to at Backlash.
I don't even know what all the matches are, if I'm being honest.
Aew, Asuka, Jacob, and Roman, Trick, Carmelo, and Sami Zayn for the IC.
That actually will probably be a good match, though.
Can't remember anything else.
I think that's it. I think there's only 4 or 5 matches. So anyways, that's happening. And then Friday, I've got Mortal Kombat. We ain't doing shit. And then
Nice.
Saturday's the pay-per-view.
About Mortal Kombat 2.
Depends on who you ask. Screen Crush gave it a 3 out of 10.
Well, they're not necessarily, overly familiar with the source material.
Right. But I'm excited for it, so I don't care about what people think.
IGN gave it an 8, but that's IGN.
Yeah. Listen, I've never trusted full-on reviewers any fucking ways, so. No. But yeah, that's the gist of it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow with our pick'ems, so be ready for Backlash pick'ems.
Backlash.
And we will talk to you next time. Deuces.
Later.